Okay, first off, are you impressed? I finally got myself a professional ring light, hence the better lighting on this video than usual when I film here in the corner of my apartment. And I love filming videos here with my plant oasis and, actually getting to sit versus holding my phone for like 10 to 20 minutes at once and probably getting myself tendonitis or carpal tunnel long term. This is a much better setup for me. So here we go. Hashtag 2024 game plan is here. By the way, speaking of new videos, if you haven't seen my last video, go check it out, titled My Toys Told Me I Was Gay. And at the end of this video, I'll put a little, whatever it's called, end screen annotation or whatever, I don't know what it's called, but I'll have it handy in case you want to watch this video first and go straight to that one. The reason I'm plugging my last video is that I actually really liked that video and I put some effort into it in terms of editing in, splicing in childhood nostalgic things, all the things. But most of you guys didn't check that video out, and I'm not sure why that is. But it got like way less views than usual. So go check it out if you're a returning subscriber, or if you just like this so far and you're new to my channel. Okay, so this is going to be one of those stream of consciousness videos. I don't know if you guys will connect to this. I don't know if it'll make sense, but here and there, I just kind of go on a rant and some of you guys connect to it and it makes me feel better, and hopefully it makes you feel better if you connect to it. So this is kind of like, in my mind, part two to my recent video, Languid in Los Angeles, that I put out in December. I was really moody that day, and I've been feeling moody again, and I know what's happening. Like, at this stage in life, I know what this means, and what it means is I am in a transitional phase. I can feel it coming. Do you know what I mean when I say that? When you're frustrated, and then you realize it's kind of like growing pains, like you're feeling stuck and you know you need to push out and try something new. That's where I am right now. And I felt that with that video, Languid in Los Angeles, last month, and I'm feeling it now. And what's really interesting is that I felt this way this time last year as well. Yes, the holidays can make you emotional and moody and reflective and sentimental and all those things. And I'm definitely one of those people who that happens to during the holidays. But this is different in that this time last year, I remember I was miserable at my last job and I was looking for something new and I felt very stuck. And this time last year, I got rejected from a new job. And that made me even more miserable because then I felt more stuck, right? And I kept feeling really insecure about it. Like, why didn't they want me? I had made it to the final round. I actually made it to the final round of 2 jobs. There was one that I wanted more than the other. And anyway, I got rejected. I kept obsessing over it. Whatever, moved on to the next thing. And then when I was in Arizona, which some of you might remember, a few months later, I went on a spiritual kind of solo retreat trip. And they circled back and they were like, hey, we think we made a mistake. The other candidate that we picked isn't doing well. Are you still interested? And I jumped on the job. And it was such a weird life lesson about how sometimes you feel rejected or you don't feel good enough or whatever. And then the universe kind of finds a way to circle back. So it was a really amazing life lesson. But here's an even better life lesson, right? It's a year later now, and I'm feeling that same frustration of I feel stuck in life. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing more. And I talked about that in that video, Languid in Los Angeles, last December. And some of you guys said in the comments, like, you're always gonna feel this way as long as you're not doing your own thing, right? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, or whatever. And I think that's true to an extent. What's also interesting that happened this week is another company that I really, really wanted to work for back in 2020, or was it 2021? I want to say 2021. I really wanted to work for them again, made it to the final round. It was between me and somebody else, and they went with the other person. That company this week just shut down. So what, that's like 3 years, maybe 3-ish years after I really wanted this job, they shut down, which means that all the US employees got let go. And so between that and this other work experience or job experience that I'm talking about, where I got rejected and I was so moody about it and blah, 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 but then in the end, I'm now at that job, I'm realizing how much time and energy I've spent in life fantasizing over what I think is the other side that I'm being kind of kept out from, right? That the grass is always greener, and I'm over here with this like burnt turf over here where nothing's growing under the sun, right? And this is, as part of this like transitional phase in my life, I'm realizing that so much of what's around you is really just bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors. It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? You think it's this big thing, the Emerald City, and stay with me here. I'm going with the Wizard of Oz analogy. And then you realize it's just smoke and mirrors. It's just a curtain. It's a guy behind a curtain with a loudspeaker who's faking it. And sometimes people are willingly faking it, like they're purposefully faking it to kind of con you or make things look much bigger, just like on social media, as many of us know. There's a lot of fraudulence, a lot of fake opulence and keeping up with the Joneses, right? But then sometimes it's on you. Sometimes you've allowed yourself to be conned by something. You've created a script in your head of this is a much cooler, you romanticize something. And I do this all the time, and I'm learning that this is something that I do, whether it's with a man, whether it's with a job opportunity, whether it's, back in my early 20s when I would go to gay bars by myself and I felt like such a loser, and I would get bitter when I would see groups of gay guys and think like, why don't I have that? Why don't I have a group of friends? And now I do have a group of friends, and it took so long to get there, including having really crappy groups of friends, that I wish I hadn't been so, I don't know what the word is, desperate to belong to. And I guess I'm just realizing that so much in life that you really want, you can't even plan or predict. It either happens or it doesn't. Maybe this is a universal thing. The coolest things happen to me when I stop fretting about it, stop obsessing over it, stop looking for it, which is such a mind fuck, right? Because what that would tell me is stop trying to do anything at all. Stop having goals. Stop searching for that job you want. Stop being ambitious. So it's really confusing for me, and I'm not sure the best way to handle it. And the last few months in this sort of era of feeling like a change is coming, whether it's personal or professional, it's confusing for me because I have moments where I feel so chill and I'm like, just let things ride out, just do your job, get your money, hang out with your friends, don't get too caught up in anything. Don't be too tense and, on edge about everything. But then something will happen, whether it's with a guy, a friend, typically it's a work thing, a meeting, a frustrating email, and then that feeling comes back to me, this feeling of being on edge and feeling stuck and feeling like I should be doing something totally different with my life. And obviously this YouTube is an amazing avenue for me. I mean, it's therapeutic. I love interacting with you guys. The comments that are thoughtful, like having your feedback change my perspective on something. I love the discussion element of social media. And what I'm learning in my journey too is for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, right? So the more I put out videos that are introspective like this, conversational, where I'm trying to really have a discourse, the more I attract like-minded people and comments, and it creates really like a discussion. My favorite thing, by the way, with this channel, when it comes to comments, is when you guys start like a thread amongst each other. Like I might leave one response, to a comment, but then several subscribers will jump in and kind of answer each other. Like it's so cool. We're building a community within a community within a community. But when I feel this feeling of stuckness, right, with work and with just where I am in life, I also realize the importance of being accountable and thinking maybe I'm over expecting or overestimating my value because, a few weeks from now, at the time of this video, I'm actually going to talk to this YouTuber who has a gay channel, and he does similar content in that it's like thoughtful, genuine conversations. It's not just like clickbait OnlyFans type, like shirtless videos. And I'm actually going to talk to him. I'm paying him for a video call because it's something that he offers. Obviously, he's making money, but I think, once you're on that level of having a huge community, I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to talk to you and they're willing to pay, like I am willing to pay him, to just like pick his brain and ask for advice about something or whatever. So I'm actually going to talk to this way more established YouTuber just to get like some insight on how he turned his YouTube channel into such a success. Because ultimately, of course, that's the goal for me. But even beyond YouTube, like, I just feel that I'm not where I'm supposed to be in life. And that I'm somebody nuance-based. Like, I'm a details person, I'm a creative person, obviously I'm a conversational person. And I feel like those skills are not being used the way they could be for me professionally. So I'm kind of ranting as I was in Los Angeles with that video last month. Obviously, I'm open to feedback and like what thoughts you guys have. But these are the things that I'm thinking about coming into 2024. And that lesson, the irony of that lesson about the grass not necessarily being greener on the other side, right? These roles that I really wanted and finding that they're not really what they're cracked up to be makes me want to invest in myself even more, because I'm realizing that in romanticizing all these companies and all these like different roles out there, I'm realizing that the one thing I'm consistently selling short is myself. And even though I'm very comfortable obviously talking to you guys and talking to my phone right now, and an inanimate, you know what I mean? Inanimate, you know what I'm saying? This is not a real organism that I'm talking to. I'm literally talking to a screen, but I'm fully comfortable doing it. And I'm like, how am I so comfortable doing this and engaging with you guys in the comments? But I'll be in a meeting at work and I feel like I can't fully sell myself and the value that I feel that I have. And so I'm going through what I know is a transitional phase that right now is confusing, but 6 months from now, it'll make much more sense in retrospect, looking back at this time. I hope in 6 months, I'll be yet again in a new sort of chapter, personally, professionally, and so on. But in the meantime, I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't believe it's the right course of action for me to like end up at yet another company where I know myself. I'm gonna start noticing things I don't like, and then feel defeated and feel frustrated and feel like I have untapped potential. So I'm like, am I supposed to go back to school? But then I think about how expensive school is, and I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I don't want to be scammed. I don't want to be hustled. And I feel like that Wizard of Oz analogy I brought up, to me, it's the same thing with college, So it's like, what's the lesson? Do you just become somebody who works jobs 9 to 5 forever that they don't believe in? I'm not sure what the answer is. But I'm glad that I'm at least learning by waking up to the reality that what you see over there is not necessarily what you actually want. And I'm learning that I'm the best investment that I can make. Investing in myself is the best thing I can do. But I really have to figure out how to bring that to the next level. Because right now it's not, I still feel too stuck. I don't know if you guys relate to this. This has been a long rant. I've already said too much. Let me know your thoughts, as always. Curious to hear your feedback, and hope you guys have had a great start to 2024.